راحت یہ دل پائے وہ مسکن ہے خلافت کا جہاں راحت یہ دل پائے.
Assalamu alaikum et bienvenue à l'émission Cette semaine avec le Calife. Aujourd'hui, nous allons vous présenter 2 rencontres virtuelles entre Sa Sainteté le Calife et les membres de la communauté de l'île Maurice. Nous commençons par la rencontre avec les membres du bureau de la Lajna Imaïla. Sa Sainteté le Calife a tenu une réunion avec les membres du bureau de l'aile féminine de la communauté Ahmadiyya de l'île Maurice par liaison vidéo samedi dernier. Durant les derniers instants de la rencontre qui a duré plus d'1 heure, les membres ont pu poser des questions à Sa Sainteté le Calife. La première question portait sur le fait si l'on doit interroger les membres sur leur pratique religieuse, étant donné que cela peut être considéré comme une question d'ordre privé.
ذاتی معاملہ تو بشک ہے، لیکن جب جماعتی نظام میں جہاں انفارمیشن چاہیے ہوتی ہے وہاں ذاتی معاملہ نہیں ہوتا، وہاں پھر انفارمیشن دینی چاہیے. جماعت کی اطاعت اسی میں ہے. اب ہر ایک کا نماز پڑھنا ذاتی معاملہ ہے یا تہجد پڑھنا ذاتی معاملہ ہے. اس کے باوجود میں نے پچھلے ہفتے جمعے میں بتایا تھا نا، حضرت علی سے پوچھا کہ تم لوگ تہجد پڑھتے ہو، تو انہوں نے کہا ہمارا یہ ذاتی معاملہ ہے. تو آپ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم ناپسند کیا اور منہ پھیر کے کہا یہ بڑے لوگ عجیب ہیں، اللہ کے معاملے میں بحثیں کرنے شروع کر دیتے ہیں. تو یہ لوگ ایسے ہیں جو بحثیں کرتے ہیں. حالانکہ لجنہ کو انفارمیشن ہوگی تو ان کو پتہ لگے گا کہ ہم کس طرح پلان کریں کہ اس کو بہتر کر سکیں. جب اس کو بہتر کریں گے تو پھر مزید اس میں بہتری پیدا ہوگی اور لوگوں کی نمازوں کی طرف توجہ پیدا ہوگی، تلاوت کی طرف توجہ پیدا ہوگی. اسی طرح آن صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے فرمایا کہ جو لوگ نماز پہ نہیں آتے، میرا دل چاہتا ہے کہ میں اپنی جگہ کسی کو کھڑا کروں اور ان لوگوں کے گھروں میں جا کے ان کو آگ لگا دوں. اگر یہ ذاتی معاملہ تو آن صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم کو کیا ضرورت تھی کہ ٹھیک ہے کوئی نماز پہ آتا ہے یا نہیں آتا، مجھے کیا ضرورت ہے. اس لیے اٹ از ناٹ اے پرسنل میٹر. وین اے کوشچن از آسکڈ by any of the Jamaat's organization, then it is the duty of all the members, be them Lajna or Khadim or Ansar, that they should give that information to the concerned department so that the better planning can be done for the betterment of those people and for improving the tarbiyat strategy for the Jamaat. It is very essential and necessary point.
Our question is, as mothers, it is more and more difficult to protect our children from the bad influence of the society and make them stay on the right path. So, beloved Hazur, how can we ensure that they remain on the right path?
You see, it is a continuous process. From the very childhood, you start giving instruction to your children with love and care that they are Ahmadi children and they should respect and honor the teachings of the religion. This is why when the child is born, Azan is called on the right ear of the child and Takbir on the left ear, because Allah knows that the tarbiyah starts from the very beginning. So you should not think that when they grow up, they will improve themselves. So when they are up to the age of 5 or 6, ask them to offer prayer. When you are offering prayer, you ask them to stand beside you and offer prayer. And then when they are 7 to 10 years, then ask them to offer prayer at least 3-4 prayers daily. And of course, you have to be very loving towards your children so that they understand that whatever my parents are asking me, they are for the good of myself. And when they are up to the age of 10, then it is obligatory on them to offer 5-time daily prayers. So ask them that this is the commandment of Allah Ta'ala that you should offer prayer. So being an Ahmadi, you have to follow all the commandments and injunctions of Allah Ta'ala given to us in the Holy Quran or the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You see, in this way, from the very childhood till they attain the age of maturity, they should be advised to practice the religious practices. And of course, at the same time, your own example, parents' example also counts. If you are not behaving well towards your children, if your own attitude and behavior is not good towards your fellow brothers and sisters. And if your attitude in the house is not good as husband and wife, then it will not help your children to get better training and education. So you will have to set your own example first, and then keep on asking them to do according to the teaching of Islam. Then when they see that this is the example of my parents and this is the teaching, then they will inshallah ta'ala follow and will be less affected by the environment which they come across outside the house. Right? Okay, then now it's time, and 1 hour has passed, even 5 minutes extra. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Jazakumullah. Hazur wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Le jour suivant, une deuxième rencontre a eu lieu, à nouveau par lien vidéo, avec l'île Maurice. Cette fois-ci, c'était au tour des garçons Wakfenau.
My question is, what advice can you give to Jamia students like me who are pursuing their studies online nowadays?
You see, you have to be honest while you are studying online. Your teachers do not know where are you and what are you doing. You pretend that you are online and you are not. So be honest, right? As I know some of the students, university students and school students, those who are studying online, they pose that they are online, whereas they are not. And their teacher thinks that they are. So you have to be honest. And secondly, now you have more time since you are at your home. You should give some extra time on your extra studies, like reading the books of Prophet Muhammad and studying the commentary of the Holy Quran and such other religious books, right? That will also help you to increase your general knowledge during these days.
We have observed that many of our youngsters are addicted to mobile phones and spend less time doing sports. How should we encourage them to play less games on mobile phones?
You see, it is a matter of realization of your duties. If you realize that your main objective and duty is to set good examples and don't waste your time, instead of get addicted to mobile phone and internet games and other things, it is a matter of understanding. So every Ahmadi should understand that his main obligation is to offer 5-time daily prayers. And not only offering 5-time daily prayers just for the sake of offering prayer, but to achieve the love of Allah, the Almighty. So when you realize your duty, when a boy who is of mature age, he realizes the purpose of his existence is the worship of Allah, the Almighty, then he will give preference to the main thing. And then after having completed those things, if he gets some time, he can play with the mobile games or other things, but the parents should also be watchful and they should watch all the time what their children are doing. See, a child 10 years of age should not spend more than 1 hour on games. Outside games are much better than the mobile games. That can help you better your health. It is the duty of the parents as well. They should watch their children are not spending much time and make them realize with love and kindness that they have some purpose and they should try to achieve that purpose instead of wasting time on mobile games. Right? I don't say that you should not play mobile games. There are quite a number of games which can help you increase your knowledge. And there are some games which are just wastage of money. You just get addicted to those games. Fortnite and something like that. They are all useless games. So you should not spend money and time on those. If your parents are watchful and you yourself have realized this, it is a mature age, you should realize your responsibility that being a Waqf-e-Nau, you should not waste your time. Spend most of the time in reading instead of getting addicted yourself into the bad games, right? I can only advise, I have been doing it in my khutbahs and other sermons, so those who listen to my khutbahs and properly, attentively listen to it, then they will definitely change their minds and change their habits. And it has happened among so many Waqf children, those who have even written to me that after listening to your khutbah, we have stopped playing the games and such things. So it's a matter of realization. And now you are mature, you should realize it.
میرا سوال یہ ہے کہ what was beloved Hazur reaction when Hazur hear for the first time the revelation Inni Ma'aka Ya Masroor.
You see, Inni Ma'aka Ya Masroor is the revelation to the Prophet Messiah alayhi salam. And Allah Ta'ala has given the name Masroor to Prophet Messiah alayhi salam. So when I was elected as the Khalifa of the time, then I came to know that this is not only a coincidence, but God wishes that He wants to help me at the same time. Because of this name, Allah Ta'ala will also give me the glad tidings and inshallah Ta'ala fulfill so many of the promises which He has promised with the Prophet Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, that they will be fulfilled during his time and even after that. And Jamaat will enjoy the benefits of those promises. So, although it is not about myself, but it was a coincidence or God plans that a Khalifa of the time was elected whose name was also Masroor, and I can see that Allah has been helping me in this regard. And I pray that all those benefits which are attached to this revelation are fulfilled during my time.
My question today is, what are the greatest problems that an island like Mauritius will face in an eventual World War III?
If Mauritius is involved in that world war or not, it does not matter, because nowadays the world is like a global village. All the countries are interdependent. They depend on each other. So if there is world war and if you have any food item which is being imported, then you will suffer to get those food items. If your trading is with some other country which has been affected by the world war badly and their economy has crippled, then Mauritius will have the effect on the country. So the people of different nations will suffer whether they are directly involved in the world war or not. Because nowadays, as I have said, we are depending on each other. So this interdependence will make every country suffer, because economically the whole world will see the crisis. And now you see, 2008 economic crisis affected Mauritius as well. Coronavirus, although there are very few cases of coronavirus in Mauritius, but still Mauritius is also affected. There are quite a number of things which are not available in Mauritius nowadays because of coronavirus. Economy is not as good as used to be. So the same thing will happen after the World War and during the World War.
My question is, if the government of our country is corrupted and corruption and fraud arises, should we still support that kind of government?
If you feel they are not discharging their duties properly, then you should try to find out some good people, use your right of vote, and bring those people in the government who are not corrupt, those who are honest and sincere to the country. So in this way you can do it, otherwise nobody knows. If you know personally somebody who is very pious and sincere and honest to the country, then use your vote for him or for her. But it is very difficult to find out from among politicians any person who is very true and sincere to the country. Right? Only solution is that yourself should stand in an election and try to change the total political atmosphere of the country.
My question is, will the election of the new president of America have an impact on the timing of the Third World War?
If in Allah's plan it is destined to happen, then it will happen. No matter whether the American president is changed or new president comes or not. If use sense, then it can be delayed. But ultimately, as the world is forgetting their responsibilities, they are not following the teachings given to them by Allah Ta'ala, they are not discharging their duties they owe to Allah Ta'ala, they are not discharging their duties they owe to their fellow being, then Allah's wrath and punishment will come, and it can come in the shape of world war. No matter whether there is an American president or any other president, Biden or Trump or whoever it is. Oh, it can be delayed if they behave well. But we should pray, Allah Ta'ala have mercy on us, and it should not happen during our lifetime, and Allah Ta'ala change the minds of the people and they accept the teachings of Islam and what Allah Ta'ala says. Then, yes, we can hope that it can stop. Otherwise, under present circumstances, no matter who is the president, it seems as if it is going to happen. When? Allah knows better.
My question is, as there is a lot of evils in today's society and people are getting easily influenced, what advice can beloved Huzur give us, especially what we know, to be safe from those evils?
You see, Allah Ta'ala has asked us that what are your duties? What is the purpose of your life? And that is to worship Allah. And when you worship Allah properly, 5 times daily, Allah Ta'ala says that salat and namaz is the way of saving you from the bad effects of the evils of the society. Right? That is the claim of Allah Ta'ala, that if you are properly observing prayer, then you will be saved from the bad effects of the evils of the society. So, your first and foremost duty is that you follow the commandment of Allah and be a good Muslim and know your basic requirement of your existence, and that is, as I have said, to pray to Allah and discharge your duties towards Him, and then you discharge your duties towards your fellow being. If you are pious and you have good understanding of it, then you seek Allah's refuge, you seek Allah's help and beseech His help, pray fervently so that Allah Ta'ala save you from the bad effects of the evil of the society. And also try to avoid them. Not that you are saying that you are offering 5 times daily prayer and go to the bar or go to the club and go to some other people's society who are not good in their behavior. So you will have to save yourself. Struggle hard and pray. This is how you can save yourself from the bad effects of the evil of the society. Right?
Why are most people greedy? And what must we do to stay away from greed?
You see, Allah Ta'ala says that you have to be contented. And the Holy Prophet ﷺ has said that when you see somebody who is pious, who is God-fearing, who is observing all the commandments of Allah Ta'ala, then try to follow him and pray to Allah Ta'ala that Allah Ta'ala also give you that status, and you also struggle hard for that. But if you see a worldly person who is very wealthy, who is a millionaire, but is not discharging his duties towards his fellow being, just accumulating the money, collecting the money, usurping the rights of others, then pray to Allah Ta'ala that Allah Ta'ala save you from this. And don't follow that example. So, greed is something which is affecting you because of your environment. So you try to avoid that environment, then Allah Ta'ala will save you. So today, because 99% of people are materialistic, so they have forgotten what are their duties towards their Creator. This is why they are greedy. Had they known their duties towards their Creator, then they would not have behaved like this. So we Ahmadis should take this banner and spread this message to all across the country and the world that we should discharge our duties we owe to Allah Ta'ala and to our fellow being. That will reduce your greed. Right? Not only reduce, that will just stop you from thinking of greediness. Right?
Yes, sir. Jazakumullah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
C'était là les points forts de 2 rencontres avec la communauté de l'île Maurice. Nous passons à notre dernière rubrique, un extrait du sermon du vendredi. Sa Sainteté le Calife a évoqué de nouveau plusieurs faits de la biographie de Hadrat Ali radhiyallahu anhu dans son sermon du vendredi. À la fin du sermon, il a demandé encore une fois aux Ahmadis de prier pour ces Ahmadis qui sont persécutés dans le monde.
الجزائر کے لیے بھی، احمدیوں کے لیے بھی اور پاکستان کے احمدیوں کے لیے بھی دعا کی تحریک کرنا چاہتا ہوں. اللہ تعالیٰ ان کو محفوظ رکھے. الجزائر میں بھی حالات سخت کیے جا رہے ہیں. وہاں بھی ایک سرکاری وکیل ہے، وہ بار بار مقدمے بنا رہا ہے ہمارے احمدیوں پر. پاکستان میں بھی اسی طرح مشکلات میں ڈالا جا رہا ہے. اللہ تعالیٰ ان سب لوگوں کو جو مشکلات کھڑی کر رہے ہیں یا کسی قسم کی مخالفت کر رہے ہیں عبرت کا نشانہ بنائے، اور جلد ان احمدیوں کے جہاں حالات ٹھیک فرمائے، جہاں سختیوں میں سے جو گزر رہے ہیں ان کے لیے آسانیاں اور سہولتیں پیدا کریں. لیکن ساتھ ہی میں یہ بھی کہوں گا پاکستان کے احمدیوں کو خاص طور پر کہ جو دعاؤں کی ضرورت، جس طرح توجہ کی ضرورت ہے، اس طرح توجہ کا ابھی بھی احساس نہیں ہے. بس بڑھ کر، پہلے سے بڑھ کر اور بہت بڑھ کر دعاؤں کی طرف توجہ دیں. اللہ تعالیٰ ہمیں جلد ان مشکلات سے نکالے اور آسانیاں پیدا فرمائے، اور حقیقی اسلام کا پیغام ہم آزادی کے ساتھ پاکستان میں بھی اور دنیا کے ہر کونے میں بھی پہنچانے والے ہوں.